Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Xinmeng from CGTN and I'm in a real Jurassic World today to do this live stream. And this is my friend Theo. Theo is a Triceratops. So we are in Lufeng County in southwest China's Yunnan province. This place is known as the hometown of dinosaurs and also the storage of fossils. It has the largest dinosaur graveyard from the Middle Jurassic era, and earlier this year a new skeleton of a juvenile dinosaur was discovered by a group of paleontologists. So that's why we are here today. We are going to the excavation campsite to dig the dinosaur. But before that, let's see what they have here in this world dinosaur graveyard. I invited a special guest to do this live stream with me. He is much more knowledgeable in dinosaurs than me, Mr. Zhang Zechuan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Zhang Zechuan from the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleoanthropology, and I'm studying the dinosaurs.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And Theo says hi.
Oh, thank you. Can I host you for this?
Sure.
Thank you.
Here, you can put your arm in.
Okay.
And see?
Nice baby. Okay.
So it's a Triceratops, right?
Yeah, this is a Triceratops, and it's from late Cretaceous period that near to the extinction of all dinosaurs, old-time dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. So this slope hill we are looking at behind us, this one is the largest graveyard I was talking about, right?
Yes.
So this was discovered in 1995 by a group of paleontologists. And I see bones, bone fractures, spines, fossils. Obviously, it's a dinosaur here, but what are we really looking at? Because I don't see a complete dinosaur.
So our modern series studying this the sediments indicates that all these dinosaur remnants are buried after a large fluid catastrophe of Mother Nature. So you can see that the long bones, those axle bones, you can see that they actually link. They have a direction that points of where the fluid, the water flows.
Oh, okay.
So actually here you can see not only one but three individuals of dinosaurs.
Oh, there are three here.
And all shattered. You can see this large tail. And this large bones.
It's
femurs,
a thigh bone, right?
Yeah, and those pelvic bones. This belongs to one of the sauropod, which means they are long neck animals. They are and they pretty much look like a giraffe this time, and they are herbivores. And up most you can see also this long neck and this large bones that have the point position. That they point out direction. These belongs to another sauropod.
Okay,
and
so
large vertebrate too. But there are similarity. There's significantly smaller vertebrates, and you can see much smaller bones. This belongs to another theropod, which means they're carnivorous dinosaurs. So basically, you can see three over here.
So let's make it this way. I see three separate spines. Can I say that this way?
You can see that. You can say that there are three separate spines.
So this two belong to one dinosaur.
Yeah, this one belongs to dinosaur.
It's a really long one. So I assume this must be a huge dinosaur, right?
Yes, exactly.
Wow. And over there, that spine is a second one.
Yes.
And we see two parallel bones there.
Yes.
That's the third one. That's a smaller one.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And, they are all buried together because it's a fluid and it's a water flow. So they are died from drowning.
Upper hill.
And then they just just sediment over here and just bury over here. And after a long period of fossilization, they come out like they are in the texture of bones. Their chemical compound has similarity to the minerals surrounding them, but there's still animal remnants. Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually different than what I thought, because looking at the bone fractures is different from the dinosaur fossils we see in the museum. It's not a complete one.
Yeah, and also different from seal looking because we constructing based on our fossils we found.
Okay, so Theo, these three are from the Middle Jurassic era.
Yeah.
When was Theo from?
I think as I mentioned earlier, it's from the period that dinosaurs extinct. It's later.
It's later, right?
Yeah, later. Millions of years later.
Millions of years later. So Theo, you're just a baby here. Those are your
like
ancestors, related ancestors.
more likely the relatives of his close ancestors. He was not even a baby that time. Yeah.
Wow.
Really,
Still,
really
you're
old.
so young.
Yeah, you are really young.
Okay, so the skeletons we see in the museum are, the real
Yeah.
constructed one.
Yeah, there are one real constructed one up there, but before we are constructing that one, there's a long process to go.
Okay.
So I will show you.
We need some restoration.
Yeah,
I
we
guess?
need to undergo a long period of restoration and take a lot of procedures. We have a lab that demonstrates some of our outcomes of from different period of
Okay.
reconstruction. Yeah, so
So we
you can
can
see, you can
go
go over there.
check.
Here's the lab.
So over there is the restoration site. But here we can see the slope hill is really, really long and really big. How
Yeah.
many, there's more bone fractures there. So how many dinosaurs are still buried here?
So far, the fossils exposed on this slope, we can say it's more than 100, and we believe there are hundreds of them buried under here. But for the by the purpose of demonstration, we decided not to dig deeper, so we can reserve this area. So-
Preserve the area. But
Yeah.
there are hundreds of dinosaur fossils buried inside.
Yeah, buried inside the slope.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like a large graveyard. So now we are looking at the restoration center. We see
Yeah.
some bones, fossils, obviously over there. Are these all real?
Not all of them are real. You can see in those sand plates, white one and central one. Some of them are actually 3D printed by the machines, and I think and you can see back on the shelf, it's already models. I think it's 1:6 scale model of a T-Rex, and you can see on the shelf. I think part of it is not. It's modeling, and not all of it is complete. Yeah, that's it. And but basically most of them you can say it's real.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many processes we will go through to restore the dinosaur?
Well, first, obviously, since they're buried in the ground, we need to extract them from the sedimentary layer rocks.
Mhm.
So we need to pack them by various of material. Oh, okay. See you. And
See you later.
and the reconstruction is we need to before all reconstruction start, we need to extract them. That's so obvious because we can't reconstruct them in the dirt in the ground. Pack them by construction material or we are taxing some organic material by the other teams in the IVPP, and after we extract them, we need to remove. Once they are put into lab, we need to open the package and decide how we want to present them to the researchers and the public. So you can see the shelf on the where the T-Rex standing. On the bottom one, there's a column of vertebrate.
Yeah.
I think it's from the tail.
Okay.
So
that
if
one
we
is
want,
still covered by the sediment rock.
yeah, sedimentary rocks. So if we want to decide to demonstrate that way, the only thing we need to do is just to carefully remove part of the layer of
Okay. And leave
layer.
the dirt on.
Yeah, leave the bad rocks on, so we can
Okay.
put them in the put them and demonstrate them. That's one of the strategy. But
Uh-huh.
before all the either we can see on in other shelves, the one that is all seats on the stand, they are really cleaned up from the rocks
Okay.
and demonstrate the texture of their fossils, that the rich calcium and also the minerals got in. So, but before all these two strategies go on, we need to glue them back, and sometimes because either when we extract them or during the transportation, there might be cracks in them.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to glue them back first and glue them.
Millions of years old.
Yeah, millions of years old. Make them strong, but sometimes not strong enough to endure our modern
Yeah.
transportation. So we need to glue them from fractures and to make them stabilize, and then cleaning. And then, if we decide to clean them up totally, we'll make a shelf first and then put them out. And then by our modern arts and modern computer arts, we'll add muscles to it, and we can see
restore the image.
Yeah,
so
restore
we
image
can
and-
see how the dinosaurs look
yeah.
in the past. So that is more like what we see in the museum, that
Yeah.
dinosaur over here. We have more up there, right?
Yeah, we have more up there.
We can go check there.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there's a really big one, the largest one.
Yeah, it's actually
for
restored
show
from
here.
earlier
the-
site, and
Yeah.
all this is restored, and it's up there.
Careful
it's
there.
up there on the shelves. And yeah, you can see even on the bottom of the.
So I can already see it. I can already see it now. Let's just go up here. There are so many dinosaurs.
Yes.
Oh, this one is huge.
Yeah, it's reconstructed from from down here. Basically, this one's a model. It's not a real fossil, but it's based on the reconstruction of the fossils we down there.
But this one is restored from the first dinosaur, the dinosaur fossil we saw, right?
Yeah, the reconstruction, the skull, and it's primarily reconstructed from the remnants of the first one found here. Since the first fossil extracted down here is a pair of dentary and maxilla with teeth, and then we add a lot of like other individuals together. So you can see the neck from the one and the neck and the vertebrae from the down there we show, and the other limbs and other things it's just part of the others actually, but basically it's anatomical correct and it's a reconstruction of how this creature shall be look like.
How long is it?
I think it's 27 meters.
27 meters?
Approximately, yeah, that's our guess, and maybe which means close to 20 feet or
20 feet.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it's
so.
huge. So you said it's also from the Middle Jurassic era. Can we know the age? Can we know the age when the dinosaur died?
So the age of dinosaurs died, it has two meanings technically. One is a geological background, which means the period of dinosaur died.
Okay.
So based on that, there's still little controversy over this stating, but so far we agree that it's all the sedimentary rocks over there are Middle Jurassic, and it's I think it's approximately the one of the series I support is from 170 million years ago. Yeah.
170 million years old. Wow.
And if you ask about the age of the creature,
how old is the dinosaur?
We do have technology applies to a couple of the individuals we find before. Like there are reports about the age of dinosaurs starting last year, and we do date the age of a couple of dinosaurs. Basically, thanks to our research method of histology, which means the study of the bones.
Okay.
We can take a long bones and from the leg, like the femur, or we just took a really small piece from the center of the femur.
And to detect.
Yeah, and just cut them drill them probably, and take a sample and make them slice, and then look under the look under the microscope, and then we can approximately know the developmental stage of the body, whether it's a juvenile, subadult, or it's adult, or it's close to its death. So we can all know from their growth patterns of the bones. So that's how we know the age of dinosaurs.
Yeah, because we only have the bones left. There's no soft tissue, so it's really complicated to know the age of the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
So we were saying that we have a new excavation project here in Lufeng in the World Dinosaur Valley.
Yeah.
So how can that dinosaur compare to this one? Is it larger, smaller, younger, older?
I think so far we know it's that compared to age, like the geological time, they are much older. But I think the age is
more primitive.
Yeah, the more primitive.
Okay.
But the age of the individual, I think, is pretty much younger than this one.
That's a juvenile one, right?
This one is, I think, is close adult. Yeah.
This one is an adult. Yeah, it's huge, and that one is a juvenile. So we'll check that one later. So don't go away. We'll go to the excavation campsite to dig the dinosaur. That's a new dinosaur the paleontologists discovered here in Lufeng in World Dinosaur Valley. And all these dinosaurs are found here locally, right?
Yeah, all the dinosaurs either from this county or neighboring county, including that one. That one's from the neighboring county.
Oh, this one is smaller. It's much smaller. And also,
it's much smaller.
Look at the forelimbs. Like the forelimbs is shorter, much shorter than those ones, those large ones we saw. Why is that?
Well, you can see there, apparently it's much smaller, but if you look at the portion of the skull versus the whole body, the skull is much larger.
Yeah, the skull, the head is bigger.
Yeah, the head is
Bigger
much
than those
bigger,
ones.
and you can see its mouth is filled with this knife-like teeth with serration, everything looks so interesting. So
Yeah.
it's actually a predator that hunts all these large giants, large herbivore giants, this old ancient time elephants. This one's theropod. This one is what we call theropod, which means carnivorous dinosaur. And
Oh, so this one eats
yeah.
meat.
yeah,
right?
the meat.
Carnivorous
Yeah.
dinosaur, and the teeth is so sharp.
Yeah.
Look at the teeth. After hundreds of millions of years,
Yeah, still sharp.
it's still sharp. And those ones are the plant-eating
Yes.
herbivores.
Yeah, the plant eating, and those are herbivores, plant eatings, and you can see obviously this one works on his back limbs.
Yeah,
work
only the back limbs.
Yes, just run fast, so he can catch up running, and catches those animals. Yeah.
So this one's smaller but stronger.
Yeah,
It can
smaller.
catch those ones.
Yeah, like our
Wow.
modern day lions, leopard, and those one are
Can
like
catch the elephant.
yeah, can catch the
right?
elephants. Yes.
So what else can we, tell apart the meat-eating dinosaur and the plant-eating dinosaur?
So as you can see the back limb of our carnivorous dinosaur, you don't have 3 toes, and it works like us. Our foot is relatively flat. It's not
Okay.
curved this way, but still the
Oh.
walking method say it
It's
can
more
walk.
flatter.
Yeah, it's flatter and it can walk. So you can see from there, it is relatively flatter. Like our chickens, it's relatively flatter.
So chicken, I know that chicken is actually closely related to dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, right. And
So-
if you're looking at those long-necked sauropod, you can know that the back limbs of it. So you can look at the forelimbs of it. It works on more than elephants. Like the toe itself doesn't touch the ground. It's actually the tip of the toes that touch the ground. And here you will have large soft tissues to support their bodies.
Oh, okay.
So in this way, they can, even though they can run fast, but they can still walking, and they can stand up there and give them a lot smaller pressure on the ground, so they won't suck into the ground.
Yeah, because
while
they're
they
too big.
run. Yeah,
They're too big.
Yeah.
So these ones are all from the Middle Jurassic era.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
those ones, there are many, many more down there. Those ones we are looking at, they're from an earlier age,
Yeah,
right?
earlier age.
Wow, so these are from the I would say early Jurassic era.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that for dinosaur studies, the earlier the dinosaur is from, it's more meaningful, right?
Yeah, they're more meaningful because, well, firstly, it indicates that from earlier geological age, they are more primitive, evolutionary tree, and if we find more primitive animals, we can know how they evolve and how their inheritance just adapt to this change of the environment. You can see over here that the animals here, even though they are all, we call them sauropodomorph, which means sauropodon-like animals, but they're actually close relatives to a sauropod. And you can see that they still walk on their back limbs. That They still
We
their
can see
predators.
a hologram here.
Yeah.
So which dinosaur is this one?
It's called Xinmeng. It's found in
Cyanosaurus.
1980s or 1990s.
Okay.
It's one of the most complete skeletons found here during the excavation.
That's the one behind it, right?
Yeah, that's one behind us.
Oh, that's its skeleton, and then the scientists just restored the image.
Yeah.
I always ask a question here. So we only have skeletons. We only have fossils. There's no soft tissue left. How do we know what dinosaurs looked like in the past, millions of years ago?
So here we need to dig into our history of the science here. So our modern science starts, by the Middle Ages, from the medieval ages to the Renaissance ages, the period of Renaissance. And this one, we can see that that time, like very, very famous scientists and artists like Leonardo da Vinci and others, that starting to dissect those in the human body. And from the dissection of that human body, we can know the relationship between our bones and muscles and our organs and how soft tissue grows. And this is the foundation of our modern medical science and modern human anatomy. And from this human anatomy, we started to use human body as a paradigm to study. we started the earlier scientists started to dissect like crocodiles, starting to dissect those birds, starting to dissect those fishes, and then we know how our living creatures have a large body, how their body moves, how their muscles connect to their bones, and how the relationship of their soft tissues and the organs and the hard tissues like bones exist. Mm-hmm. And then when we're looking at the dead animals, we apply our knowledge gained from like our modern creatures to them. So we can firstly we reconstruct the muscles and the bones, how they move, and then we give them organs, and then in some rare cases we can find the fossilized skins or fossilized feathers, and then we just add this skin impression on them, and then now we have applied a lot of physics to know how they walk and how they move. So this is how we transfer this from this bones in the ground and to the skeletons here, and from and to the, you can see that vivid image over here.
Yeah, that's amazing, because dinosaurs are not in our world anymore.
Yeah.
There's no way we can, really know it, but with the help of, modern technology, we can definitely know how they lived, what they look like.
Yeah.
And I think we have some comments here. Let's read some. So, Red Splatter on YouTube says, Wola Museum, Real Jurassic World. Yeah, this is Real Jurassic World. So all these dinosaurs we see here, they are from approximately Early Jurassic era, and those ones we saw earlier are from the Middle Jurassic era. And we are not only touring a museum, we are going to a real excavation site, because we talked about it earlier. If you just tuned in, a new skeleton of a juvenile dinosaur was discovered here in Lufeng, in the World Dinosaur Valley. Paleontologists are still doing the excavation right now. We are going to the campsite later, and to help dig the dinosaur to see how it's being excavated. But first, let's have a tour here. So if you want to see the ongoing process of the excavation, stay tuned. Wow, so many of them. Why is Lufeng such a hotspot for dinosaur fossils? All these are from here.
I think the question is that the answer is that it's not the best place for them to live in, but the best way for them to be buried. Like we said before, explained on the slope, it's like the fossils here. It's gathered not because they're naturally dead, but it's like a natural catastrophe of fluid just flushing over here. So for some reasons, their bodies are dead. This place become a really good sedimentary basin. Just bury their bodies, and this thick layer of sedimentary rocks just bury them, and just help them to preserve their bodies intact, and undergo the fossilization. So that's why we can see fossils over here. The surrounding area, maybe they live in.
Yeah.
Surrounding Lufeng may be a really good place for them to live in. So that's why they live here, and they die here, and then they just buried here.
Yeah, there may be some floods, and then also because the movement of the earth, these fossils just show on the surface, right?
Yeah, that's how
So
we find
you were saying, can I say it this way? You are saying that there might be, in my wildest guess, there might be more dinosaur fossils burying underground Beijing or New York or London, but they're just deep under the ground, and we haven't found it yet. But here in Yunnan province, in Lufeng, because of the movement and also the disasters in the history, and we can see these fossils on the surface.
Yes, exactly. We do find fossilized plants that in Beijing, and I believe that we in early history in early 20th century, we do find fossils from the New York City during one excavations about dinosaur, and London has potential. I think because the Thames rivers have the thick layers. We may not find dinosaurs, but we may find in the later years, we may find at the bottom, we may find other animals like mammals, or even early humans, their fossils. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Okay, so if you are watching from New York or London, there's a bigger chance that you have dinosaurs buried under the ground in that city. And leave your comments if you are a dinosaur enthusiast. Let me know where you're from, and why do you love dinosaurs? What do you know about it? Leave your questions if you have any, and I will see it, read it, and answer your questions in our live stream. So these are from Lufeng. These are smaller in size, local dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, these are local dinosaurs.
What's so special about it?
They are more primitive, as I explained. They are more primitive, and they are much smaller than the large one we can find upstairs. And most of them are herbivores, sauropodomorphs, sauropod-like animals. And we do have some large dinosaur, large theropod we call Cyanosaurus. They look really like the Dilophosaurus we found in Arizona, in the United States. And they are, I think they're relatively close. We talked about their relationships. Yeah.
Okay, so this one, Lufenosaurus, I read it from a report that these ones are actually the earliest, the most ancient ones, dinosaurs in Asia, right?
Yeah, not only talking about the age like they were found here, because
there are some bone fragments here.
Yeah, there are bone fragments, and there are bone fragments, and you can. Oh yeah, here we can see two juvenile Lufenosaurus skull here. These are juvenile Lufenosaurus skulls. Yeah.
So this is the head. This is the head skull of the
Lufenosaurus.
Lufenosaurus. Lufenosaurus is because this place we are in is Lufeng County, and Lufenosaurus is the dinosaur we discovered here, so we name it Lufenosaurus after the name Lufeng County. This is a juvenile one, is skull. The skull part is actually the most difficult part to preserve, right?
Exactly, because you can see, let's touch our skull first. You can see it's a big structure, but it's really the bones constructed here protecting the skulls. When we're alive, they're hard. But when after we're dead, since the bones stop growing and no more soft tissue surrounding it, it becomes vulnerable, and it will be tearing apart under severe pressures, and that's why the preservation of skulls is really relatively rare in a skeleton.
Look at how small this skull is.
Yeah, this one is really juvenile one.
Yeah, and I see a bigger one here.
Oh, this is a carnivorous one, the Cyanosaurus we talked about earlier. It's one of the largest predator we found in the early Jurassic cemetery here.
The largest predator in early Jurassic era.
Yeah, we found here, and it's called Cyanosaurus. It's just to remembrance to Dr. Yang, just dedicated to his mother, to our motherland, and this is how he remembered this, how he named this specimen. This one's a carnivorous dinosaur, theropod. You can see that the large teeth preserved on the on the maxilla and lower mandible.
Meat-eating dinosaur. So Professor Yan is actually the first person, the father of dinosaur studies in China, right?
Yeah, he's a founding father of dinosaur. Not only that, not only the Chinese dinosaur, but also he's one of the founding members of the exploration of the Pekingman, and he's he's the founding father of paleontology in China.
Okay. So those skulls over here, I was reading that the dinosaur we are digging right now, we can't find a skull, right?
The dinosaur we find out, I would still say, I don't really agree with Dr. Yu's opinion, but I still say there's a great potential because the position of the neck is still pointing downward. But I don't know. So far, I follow others because the team over there, excavation, they said that they haven't found any continuous skulls down there. So I would assume that maybe our chances are small to find the skull of it.
Okay, because the excavation is still ongoing. We won't know. We won't know what the final result is. But if you just tuned in, we are live here in the World Dinosaur Valley. It is a real Jurassic World here. And we just toured around a museum here. It has more than 100. Careful there. So I'm talking to my cameraman. He's walking backwards. We just toured. Here we have, more than 100 skeletons of dinosaurs for demonstration. And now is the most exciting part. We are going to the actual excavation campsite to see how the paleontologists are digging the dinosaur, what's the progress, and maybe we can try to do it and see what the result is, how we are going to, find the dinosaur, how we are studying the dinosaur. yeah, we are out of the museum and we'll hop onto a vehicle here. So let's go to the excavation campsite. It's not far around. It's about 2 minutes drive, so let's just go there together. Lufeng County is known as the hometown of dinosaurs and also the storage of fossils, right?
Yeah.
So to be more specifically, we are in the World Dinosaur Valley here. This is our vehicle. Let's hop on. Okay, hold still. It's about 2 minutes drive inside the World Dinosaur Valley, and we're going to the excavation site.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see there are some dinosaur statues here.
Mm-hmm. And we can see the plants here. Well, I have to make an explanation that the plants we planted here is really close to how the plants appears to be in the age of dinosaur,
Yeah.
but it's not really the plants that from the age of dinosaur. They just look really similar. And they are actually, I believe most of them evolved after the period of dinosaur, because they are angiosperm, which means they have fruit cover their seeds, and basically that's it. I do believe that's how the whole valley that just tended to present it. Yeah.
Okay, we have some more comments here. Pen to Paul said, I saw them walking on Wall Street today. You mean dinosaurs walking on Wall Street in New York? That's wonderful.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Yeah, probably he saw pigeons, which because in our modern theory that birds are evolved from branch of dinosaurs. So so in our modern research, the systematic biology, we do call birds actually part of including to be part of the family Dinosauria. So if you see pigeons and other birds, you can say you see a lot of dinosaurs, and you can even order just fried chickens to know you have the taste of dinosaurs.
Fried chicken? Can I assume that fried chicken tastes as fried dinosaurs?
Yeah, I would assume so. Fried T-Rex, yeah.
Well, fried T-Rex. So next time when I order fried chicken, I would say I'm having a fried dinosaur, and when I'm eating an egg, a chicken egg, can I say I'm having a dinosaur egg?
Yes, I would say so. Yes.
Wow. And we also have some questions here. So Red Spider says these dinosaurs have no roars. And Pentupal says, do you know how warm is the climate for the dinosaur?
I would assume that I think at least in early Jurassic and Middle Jurassic, the temperature here, I think average temperature per year is much warmer than we are having right now. So there are no ice in both North Pole and South Pole. There's no ice. It's just a much warmer period, and age is much warmer than us do. Yeah.
And Afrin Islam on Facebook asked, is this true that most of the fossils are in Asia?
Well, I would assume that actually it's really based on the preservation. So far, most of the fossils we found is from the dinosaur period is heavily centralized in like early ages actually in Africa, and from Jurassic is in North America in China, and the late Cretaceous is also like in Cretaceous period we have the Geofauna here, and we do have other period like North America and Europe. We do have Cretaceous animals here. So yeah, it's actually depends on the age you are talking about. But if you are talking about fossils, the amount of fossils, I do believe that Asia has one of the most fossil reservation here, not only in China but also in Central Asia and in the part of the Far East, and also the Southeast Asia. We do have a large hope over there, since so few people go there to study.
And how do dinosaurs? What sounds do dinosaurs make? This is really a bumpy road. We are driving to the excavation site is very close there. We can already see it. But let's just answer this question first. What sounds do dinosaurs make?
Well, the sounds that can make this is really highly controversial problem because even there are today some people think, some scientists even think that dinosaurs cannot make really large sound because
they
might
roar.
Yeah, but they do have some method to make large noise. Like you can observe in some dinosaurs, they have like horn-like structures over their skull. They maybe just like how we blow the trumpet. This is how they make the sound. That's what we believe. Yeah.
Okay, so we are here. This is the most exciting part. We are here at the excavation campsite.
Yeah.
And it's just over there in the front. And this part is not open for the tourists, obviously. Paleontologists are still working there. Yeah. If you just tuned in, we are live in Lufeng County in southwest China's Yunnan province. This place is known as the hometown for dinosaurs, and earlier this year, a group of paleontologists discovered a new skeleton of a juvenile dinosaur. And there they are. Wow, look at that. 尤老师您好.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us. So this is Mr. Yu, and he is the professor of Mr. Zhang. So thank you so much for joining our live stream. And can you tell us something about what can you tell us about the excavation project here?
Yes. So this dinosaur site was first discovered by a local farmer about a month ago. And about a month ago. Then, so we are now working here. We try to expose the bones. So now you can see basically.
We can already see the shape of the dinosaur. I'm assuming this is the spine, the neck part.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Right?
So which part of the spine?
Neck. I can only see neck.
Okay, so this is the posterior part of the neck.
Okay.
And then we have a complete dorsal central. And after that is the sacrum.
Okay.
Sacrum, and you can see the tail, right?
Oh, that's the tail.
Yeah, that's the tail. It's almost complete tail. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Almost complete.
And besides that, here, we can clearly see the ribs, right? The ribs.
The ribs here.
The ribs here.
If you can take a closer look. 然后我们摄像老师给这边一个特写. I'm talking to my cameraman to give a close shot to here. So these are the ribs of the dinosaur.
Right?
Yeah.
And here, which part is that? It's the pelvic.
The pelvic.
Girdle, yeah. And attached to the pelvic girdle, you can see here clearly we call the femur, the sine bone.
Okay.
And the tibia and the fibula.
That is the thigh?
That's the 大腿小腿. Okay, that's the femur and the tibia.
Okay. Okay.
And there should be a complete feet.
Buried down there.
Yes.
So we are still excavating now. And how long will this excavation cost?
Because we are missing the neck and the skull, including that, it should be about 8 meters long.
8 meters long.
8 meters
so
long, yeah.
it's still, we were saying it's a juvenile dinosaur.
No. It's an adult.
It's an adult?
It's an adult, yeah.
But it's only 8 meters.
No, this is a bipedal, It's not like the huge one you saw in the museum.
Yeah, we saw in the museum a really, really large one that's about 27 meters long.
That's from Middle Jurassic.
This one is
Early
Jurassic.
So in Early Jurassic, this is the largest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we? I see all these paleontologists are excavating, are working. Usually, how many steps are we going to do to dig out the whole dinosaur?
So now we exposed, and the next step we try to dig further, and then we are separate into different parts and use the plastic to jack it.
And then bring it to like the restoration
in the lab. Then we can open it again to prepare in detail.
Can I try? Can you
yes.
show me how to the rush here?
Yeah. So
okay.
You can see the general shape, but after bring to the lab, we need to do more detailed work.
Okay, so it's still covered by the sedimental rock.
by rocks.
So it's not its original color. Now I'm looking at it's reddish, but it should be like white or gray, the color, right?
So the color can be different. It's not the real color of the bone.
Oh yeah, it's the sedimental rocks color.
Yeah.
So we just brush it this way.
Yeah. I use some small tools, chisels. Yeah. And also sometimes rock hammers, you know.
Can you show me how to do it? Can you do it first? Because I don't want
so
to
this
ruin.
This is the bone. You can based on the shape.
Okay.
You can see that's the neural spine, and the central below, and attached to the ribs. So based on the shape, we can see these are the surrounding is the rocks, right?
Yeah.
So slowly, we call the glue it a little bit, you know.
So that piece falls
little
off.
by little, then you can.
Okay. I don't want to ruin it, you know, because I'm afraid. I'm just afraid that I will ruin. I will, you know, ruin the actual fossil here. But when you first discover the fossil, it's just a small piece showed on the surface of the ground.
Normally we found only a small pieces.
But how could you tell it's a piece of fossil, not a regular and ordinary stone?
Based on experience.
But you
you can see there's some shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we broken the bone, you can see some texture inside the bone, right? Yeah. Also, some people say if you touch it, it can stick to your mouth.
This
Fossils.
one? No, I won't do that.
No,
So you said a local farmer found it.
They can, because here, you know, dinosaur so
It's
popular.
the
People,
hometown of dinosaur.
they know, so
They're aware of it. So most of them have a lot of experience in
yeah.
dinosaur detecting. Okay, so how do you usually? Do we know what is the species of this dinosaur?
For now, we can see it's Lufengosaurus-like.
Lufenosaurus.
Lufengosaurus is very popular.
Yes, we saw a lot of Lufenosaurus
it's
in the
similar to
museum.
Lufengosaurus, but we cannot see definitely which species this animal is.
Okay, so
we need to study it, compare.
In the lab, right?
Yeah.
So here on the site, I mean, it's still ongoing. It's still buried underground. We can't detect what species it is. But usually, in the lab, can you just introduce very simple words? How do we detect this species?
Yeah, comparison. And compare to every related dinosaur published. You know, we all know which species this is. But we all do also some we call it cladistic analysis to find the relationships of this animal to other animal.
Okay, so we know that there are not only Lufenosaurus. When we were in the museum, there are so many different species of dinosaurs, and they're all discovered locally here in Yunnan, in around Lufeng County. Can we consider it as a biodiversity? Because we know Yunnan is probably the most biodiverse places in the world. Does that apply to dinosaur era as well?
Yeah, definitely. So Lufeng is full of dinosaurs in the past. And this is the past diversity dominated by dinosaurs on land.
They were the master of this land.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So studying dinosaurs, we know that dinosaur studies are very important for understanding the life on Earth, the evolution. But when we talk about dinosaurs, when we research on dinosaurs, are we looking at the past or are we looking into the future?
For us, dinosaur is a window to the past. So dinosaur is a huge family, including small dinosaur, huge dinosaur. There's some plant-eating, maybe meat-eating. So after dinosaur, but dinosaur dominated in the world in the Mesozoic for over 100 million years. After dinosaur, mammals, so explodes. And before dinosaur, there are actually many strange, remote animals. So, studying dinosaur can help us understand the evolution of life on Earth. We can see the evolution is like running water, full of down, full of uncertainty, and we, our human beings, actually are very lucky to be here now.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think we should treat our Earth well, and treat every life on Earth well. Yeah.
So it can also shed a light on to our future, because dinosaur, we believe that dinosaur extincted 65 million years ago, but we still have some left, right? A branch of dinosaurs.
Birds are dinosaurs, living dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, we were talking that on a vehicle on the road here. So it's still in our world, but we can see it, we can learn. There's a lot we can learn from the dinosaur, and we should treat the environment, the earth well. Yeah. So we are in Yunnan province. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. And as you know, that the UN Biodiversity Conference will be held here in Yunnan province next week. So I'm also going to Xinmeng. We'll have more live stream brought to you here from Yunnan. So stay tuned, and we'll keep digging the dinosaur here.
So welcome to Lufeng Dinosaur World Valley.
That definitely, if you are a dinosaur enthusiast, do pay a visit to this place. You'll love it here. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.